Hey, what's up, family? Hey, today, check this one out. I'm gonna do this one with everyday things that a lot of y'all be dealing with. Rather you're dealing with your family members, coworkers, whoever, or when you're dealing with someone else. Lots of times you need to have what's called a different perspective. And as always, love to give you a word of the day. So the word of the day gonna be that simple word, perspective. Now, if you look up the word perspective, it simply means a particular way of dealing with something, a particular attitude when you're dealing with something. Basically, a point of view, your opinion about something. So that's what perspective means. So when I say that, think about it. When you're dealing with whoever you're dealing with, you may be thinking one way, and that's narrowing your judgment of how you're dealing with something. But if you hear it from a different perspective, aka opinion, a different point of view, it may open your horizon on stuff and come to a better conclusion. And that's what a lot of times we do actually need in the world. We need a different perspective on how we're dealing with situations in life, especially when it's a serious situation. So let me start you off with some simple things first. Let's take simple, and it's the reason I got the 6 here. As you see my thumbnail, I had it actually pointing, I had it turned sideways here, and I have my wife right here. Different points of view, right? You know what I'm saying? Different perspectives. So from her point of view, she sees, and let me show you what I'm talking about. I actually had it like this. So with my wife standing there, she sees a 6. With me standing there, I see a 9. You get my point of view? That's why I did that thumbnail like that, to give you a point of view of how the average person is saying, you don't see stuff from my point of view. I see a 6. No, you don't see stuff from my point of view. I see a 9. See, that's a perfect example to give people. You may be looking at something from a whole totally different point of view, and you need to hear each other point of view to come to a better conclusion. So let's start off with something real simple that you can identify with. Let's take a simple glass of water, right? A half a glass of water, right? Let's say you got a cup of water, and it's this way. If you are a negative person and you look at stuff in negative connotation all the time, you're gonna say that glass of water, man, it's half empty. See? Because that's the way a negative person is gonna always see stuff the negative way. But a positive person looking at stuff in an opportunist way, optimistic way, they say it's half full. See, a negative person say half empty, a positive person say, no, it's half full. It's meaning it's room for growth. No, that's half full, man. We got ways to go. See, that's the way you look at that. Another way to look at a different perspective, let's take court proceedings. All right, we got to identify with that, right? Maybe you did jury duty or not, or watch court cases or what. There is a reason there is a judge and jury, because the decision can't be just on a judge. Who knows if he's biased or not, or been paid off? That's why it goes through a jury. And a lot of times, a jury may be swayed one way or another, but they all have to come to their own, excuse me, I apologize for that. They all have to come to their own, they all have to get the facts of the case and all that, and they all have to have their own opinion, AKA perspective. I'm gonna keep burping. They all have to come to their own perspectives. And once you hear each other's perspectives, you may think different. Another way of looking at that, go to one of my old videos. I guarantee you, this is a great one. It's called, well, you remember what that name of that video is called, man? It's called Court Attention at All Costs. Trust me, this was a real live case I was actually on, a jury case I was on. Now, I'm not going to give you the whole story of it. Just go to the video. It's called Court Attention at All Costs. Now, I'll just give you a little summary of it. The opening statements of this case, this lady, the defendant, was dead guilty. She had committed physical damage to this one lady where her finger was missing. There was no way possible she could get off. But it wasn't until we heard the whole testimony. Once you hear the whole testimony, and now we sat and got all the evidence, it will blow your mind how that case turned. So like I said, if you want something to blow your mind, something that make you think from a different perspective, go to that video. It's called Court Attention at All Costs on my channel, Spring for Integrity. But anyway, so that's the whole reason you have a jury, because you need different perspectives. You can't just have the judge just give his judgment. That would be unfair. He may be biased or paid off, like I said. Another way to look at it, let's take kids, right? Let's take the average kid. Now, this is an unfortunate one. The average kid that's been raised with his mom and his mom only, without his father. A lot of times, this is not to bash anyone, but a lot of times, if that lady has grown up bitter and never been in love, like some of the books I read, like where the woman admits it later in life. She says, I've never been loved. No one taught me how to love, so that's why I was so hard on you, right? A lot of times, if a woman never been loved and taught how to be loved and shown love, she'll raise that little boy with a lot of animosity towards his father. Everything, your father left us. Your father's no good. Your father's a dog. Your father ain't never did nothing for nobody, right? This is all this child has been taught all the way growing up. And the sad thing about it is the kid never quite get the father's perspective. He's only got the mother's perspective, and he may or she may grow up hateful towards the father. And until he gets a little older, and then he actually gets a relationship with the father, and he gets a different perspective, sometimes it goes against the mother because, Mom, you've been lying to me all these years. Sometimes. We hope that's not the case in most cases, but we know it's all too fortunate. I remember LeBron James, he did an interview about that, how he said he grew up without his father. And he had animosity toward his father because he believed everything his mother said. Everything was bad. But y'all also remember when he was on the Cleveland Cavaliers, his young mother started having an affair with Delonte West. Y'all remember that? She was a young mother having an affair with one of his teammates at a young age. So just imagine what his mother was doing when he was a little kid. That might have been the reason his father left. I'm not saying it is or not, so don't say that I'm saying it. What's the word they say? Allegedly, right? But one thing I am saying that I love was when LeBron James did admit, now that he's an adult, and unfortunately he went through that nonsense with his mother and his teammate, he said, I met up with my biological father. I didn't know much about him growing up, but now as a man, me and him is building a relationship, and we're building. And it's a lot that I'm learning about my father that I never knew. See, he had to get a different perspective. All his life, he grew up just hearing from his mother. Never heard his father's side. You always got to give a different perspective. So let's move on. Different perspective. Remember, a particular attitude towards something or point of view, different opinion. Let's go with marriage. The average husband and wife, when they're going through their ups and downs and their tribulations, sometimes possibly going to get divorced, break up or divorce, right? You know, I'm getting sick and tired of your mouth and this. I'm getting sick and tired of you. I want to save money. You want to spend money. I want to party. I want to hang out. I want to just be in the house. I want to build a family. I don't want a family. Whatever the case. You want to have sex all the time. I don't want to have sex all the time. Whatever the case, right? Sometimes when they do reach some form of maturity, rather, let's say if it's a religious couple, they might seek counseling through their pastor at their church. Why? Because the pastor is supposed to play the part of a neutral person. I'm not on her side or his side, but I'm here to give a different perspective to be helpful for you two to come to a better conclusion. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't have to be religious. That's in a religious case. Let's just say another person, they may seek professional help to a psychiatrist, a marriage counselor or something, right? Because once again, this marriage counselor not supposed to be on the man's side nor the woman's side, but they are supposed to give a different perspective from a professional point of view, and now they could bring to the table to both of them, okay, ma'am, Mrs. Jones, what makes you upset about your husband? Oh, he always want to have sex. Okay, Mr. Jones, why is it you always want to have? No, she always denying sex. You know, she want to spend. I want to save. Whatever the case. But together, all three of them give what makes you happy, makes you unhappy, and same thing, vice versa. Makes you unhappy, makes you happy, and the things that's bothering you in a relationship. And then a professional psychiatrist gives a different perspective that be helpful to both of them to make them come to a better conclusion that's healthy for the both of them. See what I'm saying? Different perspectives is very important. Let me give you another one. Let's take two friends. Now, I actually been through this one. I remember me and a buddy of mine, We get together and we debate and go back and forth all the time. Sometimes we get into heated arguments. Like, nah, man, you ain't got the facts right. That ain't that way this go. We go at it, right? I remember one particular time, me and this joker was going at it, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And there was a third person there that he didn't know my buddy. And he just heard us going back and forth. And when we pieced it up, when everything was all over, we went our separate ways, I remember my buddy that I was with, he said, yo, man, damn, what's up with that cat, man? I thought y'all was going to go at it, man. Y'all was getting in a heated battle, man. But you know I had your back no matter what. I said, nah, man, that wouldn't have been even necessary. You know, that cat that we was going back and forth, me and him do that all the time. Matter of fact, it's very healthy that me and him do that. I never cross a line of disrespect with him, nor do he ever cross a line of disrespect for me. But one thing we do is give each other different perspectives. See, now you being a third party, that you don't know that guy, and you don't know the relationship I had with that guy. So therefore, from your point of view, from your perspective, you thought we was about to go to blows. You thought, man, they getting heated, man. Oh, man, I gotta get ready, man. Or who knows, he's gonna run. I don't know. But my point of view is that his perspective was from a naive point of view. You know, he don't know. An ignorant point of view. Remember, ignorant does not mean stupid. It means you don't know. Unaware, don't have the knowledge of. He didn't have the knowledge that me and this guy had see, what he looked at as an argument from our perspective, me and my buddy, we know it wasn't an argument. It's a healthy debate. And that's all we was having. A healthy debate between two mature people who bring each other to higher educational knowledge within each other, to inspire each other to be greater. But he looked at what we knew was a heavy debate. He looked at it as an argument that could possibly get physical. It would never got physical, nor have we ever did. Me and this cat always chat like that. So you get what I'm saying? I'll give you one more. I don't want to make this video too long. Let's take a typical family member who's always screwed up, always stole stuff from the house. We got these family members. Always came around when no one was around, stole grandma credit cards, mom credit cards, spent it all up. And now the family don't want to deal with that person more, right? But years later, that person shows back up and they want to be back in the family. They need help. But the whole family already got their perspective on this person. They're like, yo, nah, man, we ain't dealing with you. Are not allowed in here. You bring nothing but trouble. But from that criminal point of view, they still know. I'm still family. Come on, man, y'all gotta give me a chance, man. I mean, that's the problem. Y'all always count me out. Y'all always think negative of me. But from their point of view, they're like, yeah, we know you always think negative because you always doing negative stuff. But then from his point of view, yeah, but man, y'all can't keep bringing up the past. I know I messed up, but man, give me a chance to fix things. I'm better now. But from their point of view, they're like, yeah, man, but that's what you told us last time, and you screwed up. But from his point of view, once again, he's like, yeah, but you know, people change, man. I'll change, man. I promise you this time, man, I'm gonna do right. But from their point of view, they're like, from their perspective, they're like, that's every time you told us the same thing, and every time you jerk us around, make us look like a fool. So from their perspective is a defensive one to defend and protect what they got within the family. From this person's perspective, is give me 100+1 chances to keep screwing up, and eventually I'll get it right. I don't care how many times I messed up. Just keep giving me a chance, man. No. At some point, you gotta stand your ground and go, that's the way you look at it. But this is the way not only we look at it, this is what you've shown us. So from our perspective, it's facts. So like I said, we could go on and on, over and over, because there's so many different ways of seeing different perspectives. But anytime you need to come to a more mature and greater decision making of what you're doing, get different perspectives. Because the way you was about to go about something, it might be good, it might be okay, it might be bad. But if you get a different perspective, regardless of what decisions you make, you will definitely make an even better conclusion of the answer you choose in the end.
So make it a solution, not a problem.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Yeah. That's a statement we use in my family all the time. You know how people say, yo, man, you always making excuses. That's a statement we've always said. Yeah. We don't make excuses. We make
results.
Exactly. And I love that. We don't make excuses. We make results. And a lot of y'all need to live by that. Don't make excuses. I don't need to hear all these excuses. Oh man, remember ever since you was a kid, the dog ate my homework. Oh man, my clock didn't go off and set me off. Oh man, there was a traffic jam coming to work. Oh man, it started to rain. Look, knock it off with all these dumb excuses, man. Don't make excuses in life. Make results. And on that note, subscribe, share, like, and comment. Peace.